Why is it that Black Americans hate Africans?
I keep hearing about so called diaspora wars, and let me tell you something. I feel that all of that is baloney. Black Americans have never called for a diaspora war.
The reason why there's always black diaspora wars on TikTok, and when I say black diaspora, I mean Black Americans versus insert country in the black diaspora here, because that's what it always is. Like last week, it was Black Americans versus Africans in America. They had beef with Africans in America 2 weeks ago.
Learn when to shut the fuck up sometimes. Stop falling for the trap. The African versus Black American beef is fake and it's funded and it's nowhere in real life. What's actually happening is we're being attacked by white people, white supremacists that run the state. We are being attacked by the American government. We're being attacked by European nations, and we're being divided by the people they're paying online. A lot of them look like us, sellout ass Negroes that are getting online and telling us that our beef is with other people that look like us and other people of color that may not look like us but are not white. And they are selling us this so that we will not rise up against the mayonnaise Martians who actually enslaved us, who actually mass incarcerate us, who actually are pushing us out of jobs, who actually are taking our opportunities, who actually are colonizing black nations. The sellouts and the raccoons of social media are trying to sell us propaganda that we should be fighting other marginalized groups of people instead of fighting the people who are actually fighting us. And it's cowardly and it's bitch made. And we need to stop doing that. Well, we don't speak French. Y'all need to stop doing that because y'all look like hoes. They are paying social media creators to make a fake diaspora war online because the motherfuckers bored. They ain't got no life or no real careers and they ain't got shit else to do. White supremacists love this. Why? Because while we're fighting online, the real attacks keep coming in real life. Government policies pushing us out of our own neighborhoods that black people have been in historically in the U.S., government sanctions choking African nations, police unaliving us in the streets here in the U.S. and abroad in other countries. It is divide and distract, and it's working. They don't want black Americans linking arms with black Africans. They don't want the diaspora united. They don't want us to have a swimming pool bigger than Kanye because a united global black movement could challenge the systems that are crushing all of us. From Washington to London to Johannesburg. So the next time you see Africans versus black Americans content and videos, ask yourself, who profits from this? Always remember, we are one people with one history and one struggle. Unite, resist, build, Black August, global black power, Pan-African unity. Y'all be cool.
I love being black. In every universe, under any circumstance, I would want to be black. And I don't mean to offend anyone, but we are just superior people. We look better, we're built better, we're smarter, we're stronger. Any you can think of, we are. And they hate us because they are not like us. What other race of people has so many different variations and every single variation is the shit? We got light people, dark people, brown people, caramel people, yellow people, mixed people, dark people, chocolatey, chocolate, blackety, black. And every last one of them are the shit. And although we are given a hard time every day of our lives, we fight our way through that shit. And not only do we fight our way through that shit, we can find something funny in it. We are such unserious people about such serious things. I would never not want to be black. I just would never not want to be black. It's fucking amazing.
Hello guys, welcome back to this very episode. And actually today's episode is about learning and actually exchanging idea in a respectful way. I have compiled you videos of several speakers explaining who will actually benefit when Africans, when Caribbeans, when Black Americans actually divide. You may also want to give your opinion in the comment section. You may not agree, but let's keep the conversation going in the comment section, but in a respectful way, so that we can actually know where the problem is. Because personally, I don't see who will actually benefit when we divide. We have always worked together, and I think that our unity was our strength. But having said that, there are some grievances that need to be addressed, and I think that this is the right time that the Caribbeans come forward, the Africans come forward, and Black Americans actually come forward so that we can know what each group have been holding up, and we can learn and unlearn things afresh. Let's dive in and watch the videos, and don't forget to give your opinion in the comment section, and remember to keep it respectfully. Let's dive in.
Why is it that Black Americans hate Africans?
I don't know. Like, from what I've heard, I guess annoyance that they feel like Black Africans come to the country and they're given preferential treatment because there's this sort of belief that, you know, we work harder and we do this and but therefore we're like the good model minority.
Yeah.
Which in turn makes them look bad.
Yeah.
And that even though, I mean, the FDA and the ADOS lot, they say that they can distinguish who's Black American and who's African.
And I can't.
They say that there's like so many different, like, you know, you can easily distinguish and all that, which I think is a whole load of cap. There may be some truths to it. Like, at the end of the day, we know how white supremacy works, right?
Yeah.
And it does absolutely get off on causing division. That's how it's always been. And it's just unfortunate that people are actually buying into it, but they're mad at the wrong people. I just feel like the energy is completely misdirected. And like, even if those differences are there, 'cause I'm going to give them the benefit of doubt and say that there's some element of truth to that. Who is responsible for that?
We need more honesty about the misinformation that's been put towards both of us, because when we've had this discussion multiple times, it's not often we get Black American honesty about the negative stereotypes they have. I say it, we say it, but they're like, no, we were open arms and welcoming. There was definitely negative stereotypes of immigrant Blacks perpetuated by Black Americans. So you can say that you're welcoming, but were you? And similarly, what was projected into into Africa and the Caribbean about Black Americans. Just be really honest about the propaganda that happened, and then we can get to honest dialogue.
Look at this clip. Zeus, he's Nigerian American, and Bilu is Black American. Zeus, he was explaining to Bilu that there is a diaspora war and it's deep rooted. He used a very clear and simple analogy. Listen. Look.
A lot of this is deeply rooted. Okay? Let's like, have you heard of the saying, like, you put red ants next to black ants, and they really smooth, and they cool, right, in the bottle. When you shake that motherfucker up, the red ants think the black ants is enemies, and vice versa, and they attacking each other, but nobody focused on who shook that motherfucker. Facts. So let's start from the root. The root of why a lot of the issues we have even became the beat in the first place, okay? So let's address that. No, we don't gotta address it, but let's just keep that in mind, okay? Yeah, keep it in mind. So with that being said, I can only speak on Nigeria. I can't speak on any other country in Africa, okay?
What do you guys think about this? Zeus, he broke this down in a very simple way for many people to understand. That ant analogy, someone is shaking this bottle to cause these diaspora wars, and that is a deep-rooted issue. Do you agree with this? Comment below, let me know.
I keep hearing about so-called diaspora wars, and let me tell you something. I feel that all of that is baloney. Black Americans have never called for a diaspora war against other Africans at all. In fact, we have always been very supportive of other members of the diaspora, especially African countries that are throwing off the last vestiges of colonialism and imperialism. But what I find interesting is that there are African immigrants who are regurgitating white supremacist talking points. And that is because the United States has always exported racist stereotypes and propaganda about Black Americans who are descended from the enslaved. Black Americans, we are just saying we will no longer tolerate that disrespect. We're not going to tolerate other people, including African immigrants, telling us who we are not, telling us that we do not have a culture, we don't have an identity, and giving us a litany of what they think are our problems. It is disrespectful. And a function of white supremacy is gaslighting. Everybody else and their grandmama feels very comfortable telling Black Americans about our lived experiences and what we do and don't need to do. And we're tired of it, and we're going to let you know it. That is not starting a diaspora war. That is just speaking out and standing up for our own best interest, like every other group does. And it's wild to me, the African immigrants who do spew white supremacist talking points. And if it does not apply, let it fly. We know not every African immigrant feels this way, but the ones that do, what really gets me is the ones that sashay themselves over to the United States and take full advantages of the rights and privileges that Black Americans have struggled for, including getting an education, getting jobs, and starting businesses, and then proceed to tell us about what our problems and issues are. It's just like if you go to someone's house and go into their kitchen, raid their refrigerator, then put your feet up on their furniture, and then start talking shit about them in their house? Absolutely not. We're not tolerating that. Absolutely not. Black Americans have always been supportive of other members of the African diaspora, and we always will. So there is no diaspora war, but you will understand that we will not tolerate folks talking shit about us that do not know what the hell they are talking about. You are just trying to gain acceptance by spewing white supremacist ideologies and talking points, thinking that that might get you in closer proximity to whiteness. Newsflash, it won't. And you need to take it from people who have been here since before the United States was officially formed. We know what we are talking about. But we can show you better than we can tell you. Again, it is all about respect.
The reason why there's always Black diaspora wars on TikTok, and when I say Black diaspora, I mean Black Americans versus insert country in the Black diaspora here, because that's what it always is. Like last week, it was Black Americans versus Africans in America. They had beef with Africans in America 2 weeks ago. They were going to do a boycott. Before that, it was Black Americans versus Black Brits, and now it's Black Americans versus South Africans. But the common denominator is Black Americans, and people are getting mad at Black Americans, and I don't believe it's their fault. The ones that know and understand don't need to listen to this. But if you're confused as to why it seems that the diaspora is coming for you, I'm going to break down why it is that way, okay? So basically, America has taught Americans to believe that America is the center of the world, and that is a fact. I live in America. I cannot tell you what's going on. Every time my mom calls me, she's like, wasn't it on the news? Wasn't it? What? Don't you know what's going on in England? Wasn't it on the news? I'm like, no, mom, because America does not show me English news. America don't care about English news. America don't even care about American news. America just shows me what's going on in LA. Literally, I don't even know what's going on in Texas or other states. Like, America is too big. They care about themselves. I have a joke where I say, America is the Florida of the world. Americans will get this. That's how, you see how Americans think Florida is? That's how the world thinks America is. And so, essentially, we look at America, the rest of the world looks at America, and they think that America is stupid because America acts like America is the be-all and end-all, but the rest of the world know that it isn't. And so, by default, Black Americans may think that way. Not only that, Black Americans are aware that their Black American culture has been exported all over the world and is aware that the whole world has their eyes on them. And again, if you're in a country and you're aware that the whole world has their eyes on you, but you aren't aware of any of them, you're going to believe subconsciously or consciously that it's because you are the best or you are better. And it's not necessarily true. It's actually because you're the most popular. So like America is like, you know, the kid in school, yeah? There's a kid in school and he's popular, but he thinks he's popular because he's good at maths, or he's good at science, or he can do cartwheels, or he's really funny, or he can burp the alphabet. He thinks he's popular for that, but he's actually popular because he's the only kid in school with a pool, and everybody wants to use his pool. That's what America is. Like, Black Americans think that, not all of them, some of them on this app think that they're the best at what they do. And it's not to say Black Americans aren't exceptional, because they are. They're just not more exceptional than the rest of the Black diaspora. The thing is, they are being exceptional in a country that has the world's eyes on it. And the reason why America has the world's eyes on it is because all the money and power from slavery went to America. And Americans are living in America. You literally live, Black Americans live in a country that has been propped up the most by slavery. But let's be clear, the difference between America and like Jamaica and all the other countries is because all the money from Caribbean slavery didn't go to the Caribbean. If the money from Caribbean slavery went to the Caribbean and the Caribbean was propped up like America, then all eyes would be on the Caribbean as well. If the money from African colonization went to Africa instead of Europe, and Africa was propped up by colonization and slavery, just like America is, the whole world's eyes would be on Africa. But because the only country that has a predominantly like big Black community in it that has been propped up the most by slavery and had the money actually returned back to the country is America, that is why America is a superpower where it is. But that doesn't mean that Black Americans are somehow more exceptional than Black people from other countries. Unfortunately, the money from Caribbean slavery went to Europe, and the money from the colonization of Africa went to Europe. And Europe is a super continent, but it's a predominantly white continent. So the Black people in those countries in Europe really can't, they don't have a leg to stand on. They're immigrants. But in America, just like in Jamaica, the Black people that were born in America like did great things and set standards and broke down walls and barriers, and they should be celebrated for that. And I feel like the world does celebrate Black Americans for that. But don't think that Black Americans are somehow better than the rest of the diaspora, because no one's better than anyone. None of us. No one in the diaspora thinks that, I mean, maybe people like jokingly think it, but no, like most of the diaspora understand that we're all interlinked. So no one can really be better than anyone, because we're all mixed. We're all essentially African and we're all essentially Caribbean. We're just a melting pot. But America seems to other itself sometimes. As a diaspora, we kind of know that the main person in charge of everything is Africa, because that's where we're all from. We've all, whether you're Black British, Black German, Caribbean, African, we all understand that. So we just assume that America understood that too. And what we're finding out through TikTok and through things like this is that some people in America do not believe that their Blackness is linked to Africa. And then there's also pushback because, you know, they know that America might have shown Black Americans in not a positive light, and there's a need to hold on to the culture, there's a need to preserve their culture, etc. But all these things are valid, but on top of it, we just think we're all one. Someone asked me on this app, why is it that like Black Brits can feel the need to play our American heroes? Like, why don't they feel shame in playing our American heroes? And I'm like, because you think your American heroes are just yours. They're not. They're also ours. Like, my heroes were Martin Luther King growing up too. So it's like, yes, they are Black American people, but they're Black people first. And so Black Brits are also Black people first. So like, it doesn't matter. You're Black. So they're not gonna, I see myself in Black Americans because you're Black and I'm Black. Like, everybody is one. And I think the rest of the diaspora realize that. And the sooner America realizes it, like in its entirety, I know a lot of Americans, obviously, a lot of Black Americans understand this, but as soon as like Black Americans on TikTok understand this, the diaspora wars will be over. People need to give Black Americans some grace and understand that they're operating from a different space. Give them grace. And Black Americans just understand that we're not trying to beef you. We just want you to realize that we're all one with you. No one's exceptional, no one's better. We're all Black people. Just geographically spaced out because of slavery and colonization.
I love being Black. In every universe, under any circumstance, I would want to be Black. And I don't mean to offend anyone, but we are just superior people. We look better, we're built better, we're smarter, we're stronger. Any you can think of, we are. And they hate us because they are not like us. What other race of people has so many different variations, and every single variation is the shit? We got light people, dark people, brown people, caramel people, yellow people, mixed people, dark people, chocolatey chocolate, blackety black. And every last one of them are the shit. And although we are given a hard time every day of our lives, we fight our way through that shit. And not only do we fight our way through that shit, we can find something funny in it. We are such unserious people about such serious things. I would never not want to be Black. I just would never not want to be Black. It's fucking amazing.